Alright, it is 9:23 a.m. and I will again be looking at morning panic bounce plays. For KXIN, I will not really be interested in this unless it just happens to turn around and breaks the day high, but that might be too much. I'll probably move that to the other watch list. And CPSL could be a morning panic bounce play, but it hasn't been that nice in my opinion. RGBP could be one. VNTH. This one was the one that had the spike yesterday. I just want to see how this one trades. KYNC, ideally some kind of reversal setup. BTBT, I'm just still watching it. Maybe it's going to top under 20, who knows. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. Alright, it is 9:47 a.m. and I think I feel a little bit better. I was kind of not really feeling it that well at the market open, and I feel better now just having this trade that did not work out, but I feel like I probably could have sold much better with this one. I guess it all depends really, but in theory I probably could have done better selling here for less of a loss, because it did get like at the very bottom and then very quickly it went back to the 20s. I could even sold for a small profit, but that wasn't really my goal. I just cut the trade because the setup didn't seem that well, and I also didn't have like the right risk level, so a bunch of things I could have done better with. But I'll give myself some slack because it was like, you know, my first trade back on Monday. And I was a bit distracted too in the morning. 9:43 was my entry. Potential morning panic bounce play, not really ideal. I did see this turnaround here, and I was wanting it to head back to the lows, which is doing right now. It could bounce from any point here. You know, the idea could be you're in at right now 620, right, and you risk 615 cracking with some slippage maybe. You know, you're 613, you risk $7, and this thing could at least get to VWAP, which is 637, but it is a listed stock, so it's not really that perfect. But the one thing that is in favor is that volume is fading. I could try again, you know, maybe try to get a better price and risk, you know, 615 well, breaking really if 615 gets executed, but I'm probably too late. We do have a bidder here at 620. We also have some people on the ask, and of course VWAP is not really that far away, so maybe I shouldn't have even traded this thing because VWAP was really that close to the level. I mean, if I were to be in again at 623 and I sell at 630, you know, 6, that's, I mean, $13, and then I'm risking, you know, 15. Maybe that's not really the best setup. But I want to see how this thing does, whether it works or not. If I had to guess, it's totally gonna work. I think I probably could have done better with my sell, but I just again wasn't really in the mood and everything. Not really in the moment, like just not having the right mindset. But yeah, that this was a potential. I was looking at other ones. I think this one worked. Yeah, the RNG, but this one was trading kind of weird. You know, it kind of had this bottom here, and in theory I could have been in at 74, but this thing was just trading kind of strange, and it was only down I think 5% at its most. So I wasn't that interested in trading it because it could have been a lot better, could have dropped a lot more, but this one did get past VWAP. Maybe in theory a buy at 7.5, you risk I guess 7.3, which would be the lows, and it gets to 8.2, so that isn't bad. I think, yeah, NLST is probably going to turn around. I probably, you know, also I was risking 616, but really the low was 615. I should have potentially have you know, had that in mind. You know, I had the wrong number in mind. If I had 615 in mind, I probably would have been in the trade still, because 615 was executed at the bid. I would know, but it wasn't like it was really breaking through it. It just briefly touched it. So this is nice. It is trying to head back towards VWAP. It could be just a good learning lesson maybe. what I can do on Mondays is just rewatch part of the weekly recap, so I get back in the mindset of trading and not be thrown off. But yeah, this thing is nice. This thing could definitely make a move towards VWAP, although this one is a higher priced OTC, so they don't tend to work that well. KYNC is doing a really horrible job trying to come back to its highs. I thought it could do a morning spike today, and it did. I mean, it went from 135 to 146. Kind of iffy price action here, but it did try to make a move. It did break this range here briefly, and now it head back down. Lots of selling here. Nothing I'm too interested in. VNTH, nothing. BTBT is just a wash. I don't really want to trade it. RGBP, this could be a morning panic bounce play set up at some point. This thing is uptrending very nicely. And CPSL, I might watch CPSL. I see on my other screen DPLS, which I mean could turn around, but this thing, it's just not really that nice. Doesn't trade with that much range. It does trade with volume, but it's not really perfect. It's not really that far from VWAP. It looks far, but 74 to 76 is not much. It might be better than NLST though, but at least this one is doing it. Really nice. Probably could have traded this one a lot better in a bunch of different ways. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'll make an update later. I'll definitely consider that to rewatch, like the weekly recap video I make, or some other videos, just to get back in the mindset so I don't make any amateur mistakes. Alright, it is 10:09. I had one more trade. It was a good attempt, and I did miss the ultimate bottom. I did try to buy at 10:07. It felt like my order just didn't go through, like it was just too many people trying to buy. I tried at 6.99, and that was again at 10:07. I just did not get filled, which is totally fine. At least I tried, and I did try here as well with NSAV back when it was here in the 81 level. So at the time, this was the big volume candle at the time, right? And I did take a buy at 825 10:01, which was right here. 825 right about here. And I was thinking, alright, morning panic bounce play, big volume candle, in theory, a consolidation candle, and let's see what it does. I'm going to be risking 812, and what happened was that it cracked the level, so I had to cut losses quickly the same minutes, and that was a good attempt. It could have held here, but it didn't. And now it's doing this nice uptrend here, and we'll see what this one does. I did lose a little more, but this one was definitely a way better trade than the NLST was. NLST's at 42, by the way, which is pretty nice. It did do a higher low. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I don't see anything else that I'm really that interested in trading. I'll just keep watching, and we'll see what continues to happen from here on forward. Alright, 10:32. I think this was a break-even trade, NSAV. It could do it, but there was a lot of people on the ask, and I kind of lost my patience. If I get out and then it immediately starts working, I'll try to hold longer, but at the same time, who wants to be a part of this? This thing is just could be a cup and handle. Here's the bottom, makes the cup right here, handle. I've said that it's taking too long. You can also call it just a higher low off that bottom. It looks like it's working now. That really sucks. I'll be honest, that sucks. I saw that like the minute before it turned around, but at the same time, it's just taking forever, but well, make an update. I'll see how high this thing can go, but that really freaking sucks. I thought it was super unlikely that this thing would just turn around, but if there is just such a high amount of people who are selling at the ask, is that really going to be something that can move very much? I'll make an update, but yeah, clearly today it's just not my day, but that's fine. At least I'm trying. I'll make an update, yeah, to see how this thing can do. But I mean, in theory, it can work. The volume is fading, but there is just a lot of people selling on the ask. I'm not sure if they're bag holders or promoters, or people who just got, yeah, people who got stuck earlier in the trade. But I'll make an update. Alright, it is 10:43. I was actually about to do something else, but I'm starting to see this thing downtrend. I don't want a double bottom. If this thing can make a higher low, not a higher low, a lower low, you know, from here, I might be interested in this. But yeah, this thing actually, it failed right here. It got a little higher. What was the high right here? The high was 765, so it actually didn't really do that much. But yeah, I'm just gonna be watching this to see if this thing could potentially make a setup. Alright, I am back. It is 1:43 p.m. I have been off. I tried one more time with NSAV. It did not work out, and I said, alright, today is not my day. That's totally fine. It's not working out. I did trade a larger position size. I don't regret the last trade. I don't regret any of these. I am just frustrated that I didn't get my entry in here, but at least I tried. But on the other two trades, like the one I did here in 80, cut losses quickly. That was fine. I tried buying here. I was long here, and I did sell before. You know, I did do the downtrend. I was a bit frustrated, but you know what? That's totally fine. Let me get rid of extended hours now that it's later in the day. I think I'm going to do a new rule to really prevent me from getting screwed on some of these that have like these rough turnarounds. This initial panic is kind of hard, you know, trying to think when the bottom is going to be in. And I don't trade these until it looks like the bottom is in, when it starts showing some green price action. And you know, at least a solid candle. We do have a big volume candle here. I really can't get that salty that I missed my execution, because I at least tried. Maybe I could have been a little quicker. And you know, after my trade, I tried one more time. 10:53 right here. 10:53 was my entry. Let me see if I can get the exact. Looks like it was this ticker right here, 10:53. It did look like it was trying to turn around right here, risking give or take 60, and it failed. Obviously, I sold. What was it? 2 minutes later. Yeah, 55 is when it failed. I bought in this doji looking thing. This red candle was afterwards, and then I sold as soon as I cut 6. So I really can't get upset. Because of the fact that I did well trading in terms of cutting losses quickly, but I am frustrated that I missed out on the bottom again on some of these tsunami type panic stocks. Like DPLS was a similar one. We did get the inverse head and shoulder, shoulder head shoulder, but I wasn't here. I had to go to another place to do something there. I just wasn't here at the markets, although I was looking to see what this thing was doing. And that was unfortunately a bigger loss. I'm gonna have to cut that part off because it shows my account number. But I am down like 58 bucks with all of these trades, and this was like my large position trade. I don't regret it. It wasn't that bad. I just did not get the bottom, and that sucks. I could have been in for this, but I'm thinking about this new rule. It might not be perfect, but my idea to avoid getting burned. And this is for like the tsunami panic type stocks. It's not like a regular morning panic bounce play. This is like a big tsunami type where it drops at least 20% on the day. At least 20%. Some of these, when they drop like this, I have this new rule in mind. I'm going to go for the inverse head and shoulders. I'm not going to try to nail the bottom anymore like I did here. It could have been the bottom here. I did here. I could have been executed, but I didn't. It had like a little gap up, as you can see, although my entry that did not go through was 699, and then it gapped to 689. I just didn't get executed. With these big type of tsunami panic stocks, whatever you want to call it, I might do this rule. Is going to be the 3 ticker rule. And basically the idea is that when it comes to a setup like this, I will not go in the trade until it at least has 3 green tickers. Here was just 1. After the 3rd green ticker, I could be in, even though it's a bit of a chase at 735. It goes to 792. I sell. You know, when it dropped, it was still at that 3 ticker level, even with this wick right here. Panic, shoulder, head, shoulder first, or you might say first, second, third. I would say give or take these are 3 candles. I could be in at 58. It goes to 62. Puts up a higher low. And then it gets towards VWAP eventually, which will be nice. So I think on these tsunami type panic stocks that drop more than 20% with this type of price action, I think I will trade only after 3 green tickers go by. That could be a great idea. Or I could just go long whenever the volume is super low. You know, and here like the volume started to fade, but I guess the price action wasn't that nice. Volume started to fade here. I could do something where I just don't trade it until it gets to at least 11 a.m. or 10:30, or these 3 ticker things with the green tickers. I think that will help me a lot. I don't think I'll trade anything else today. CPSL is uptrending. RGBP, nothing really nice. VNTH is uptrending. It might try to break yesterday's high. That would be nice. Could it keep going? Maybe, but this thing shows that it doesn't really move that much. It kind of turns around eventually, but it could do it. That might not be such a bad sell, buying a potential breakout here. But that's where I'm at. I think I'm going to do that 3 ticker rule. I think it will help me greatly. I might be down today a little more than what I normally like being down, but you know, I'm still up a lot. But I definitely have to keep getting better. I need to not be rusty on the market mornings. I can watch my weekly recap. I can watch a video lesson. So yeah, that's where I'm at. You know, I just have to keep trying. Alright, it is 2, 3, 4, and I did trade VNTH right after that last recording. And yeah, this one kind of got me. So this one wasn't bad. My entry wasn't 3-3. It was 3-2-5. It was right in the middle between the bid and the ask. And my entry was at 52. So right here, this red candle, 325 was my entry. So right in the middle, right here. And I sold when it was 55. 55 was right here. It did dip a little more. It got to 31. But it was just looking kind of iffy. The price action wasn't looking that nice. This is one where if I were to have risked a price level instead of price action, I would have been in. I could have, you know, had a nice sell into this spike right here. Maybe wait for a top to form at 39 and then try selling here at 37. And I would have made back not all of it, but I would have made back a lot of my losses, because that would have been over a 10% trade. But unfortunately, I just sold right before it. I'll tell you what, today's just not my day, but I think it's a good day because I get to learn from all of this. NSAV, when stocks have a big panic like this, I think I will wait for the third green candle. Wow, what is with my talking? The 3rd green candle. And I think even if it's going to be a bit of a chase, it's just more confirmation that the bottom is in. It will save me from little, you know, stutters like this. It won't help me get the very bottom, sure, but you know, if it's like a big tsunami type panic stock like NSAV was here, a lot of these just keep making new lows, so I'm not trying to get in trouble with that. I'll wait for the 3rd candle. I'll be in at 731, 733, maybe 735, and I'll go big. I'll go a larger size, $1,400 position, maybe 2,000. Wait for some kind of topping action, which we did get here, and then I try to sell at, you know, in the 77, 78s, and that could be very profitable. Also, inverse head and shoulder. So we got a shoulder, head, shoulder. a lot of these big tsunami panic stocks, some of them fail. I feel like sometimes promoters watch my videos and they're trying to find out how best to mess with the dip buyers. But inverse head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, I'll consider going larger on some of these setups. I just have to keep adapting with all these intricacies. If it's just a normal morning panic bounce play and it drops like 10%, 15%, okay, sure, I'll trade that regularly with the big volume candle and all of that stuff. But with some of these, I will be looking at the big volume candles and all of that stuff, but I won't be trying to get the bottom anymore, even though I could have been in right here if I had been executed. Because I keep consistently missing the dead bottom on these, I just feel like there's something wrong with me and I need to improve that. So I think what I'll just do is just play it more safely. So I'm going to potentially just avoid getting into all of that ruckus if it's going to be a big dropper that's over 20% like this. And then I'll wait for that third green candle move and I can go long a lot larger, so then I could be in with something like this. Even though I'm not at the very bottom, I have an excuse. It's just a higher chance is going to continue going because a lot of these fail to get at least 3 candles. Some of them do 2, but most of the time they can't do 3, especially like this where it's at an uptrend. So I can try something like that, wait for the third green candle, and then inverse head and shoulders, I'll go much larger on these because a lot of these work very nicely. Sometimes it never gets to VWAP, like the one yesterday. I forgot what stock it was, but yeah, some of them they never touch VWAP, but this one did, and this would have been pretty nice. And this could be like a great attempt at learning to try to hold these things a lot longer too. That's what I have in mind. A lot of good lessons learned from this. I didn't do anything stupid. Like I didn't go long here and think, oh well, I missed my exit, let me just hold on. Oh, I didn't cut losses quickly. The low broke, but it's alright. I think maybe it'll play off a 78 and then it'll bounce back. I didn't do any of that, and quite frankly, most people unfortunately just trade like that and they make all these mistakes. Maybe promoters could be watching my video here, and like I barely get views, but then on the ones that do get views, they're promoters, and then they're trying to find ways to turn it around. People are gonna not cut losses quickly, and that's where all the money I feel like they make is going towards, not really the day traders as much. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just probably wait for a third green candle. Of course, it has to be an uptrend. It can't be like, oh well, I think that's the green. It has to be somewhat like this, a nice uptrend. I can go large here, third green candle. Be very cautious on selling, waiting for some kind of topping action to sell into, or maybe a top forms and then it trades a range and I sell in that. And then the inverse head and shoulders here. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I even thought about buying like recently, just thinking maybe this is like a exaggerated shoulder head, and then maybe it makes a shoulder right here because it's kind of playing off very close to the same level as it was back here. That could work, but it would be like a speculative trade. Tiny size. I was thinking of actually at 6, 8, 9. So in theory, it'd still be, excuse me, give or take in the same level. Although I don't like that it dropped a little, but that could be something too. I didn't see this NLST. I wasn't here for this. It did have a big panic. This is more of like a normal, one where it didn't really drop. I mean, it did drop at this point more than 20%, but it wasn't. I can't explain it. It trades a certain way these tsunami type stocks play. So this one could have been maybe a buy, but that would have been kind of sketchy because I would have had to have been at 527, risking 510. And I'm not. I don't trade large enough to really want to risk that much for some kind of setup like this. This is a higher priced OTC, so it's not too ideal. KYNC doing the worst job it can do to come back. Or GBP, this could be a potential morning panic bounce setup for sure. This could be a morning panic bounce setup at some point. CPSL as well, but it doesn't trade with much volume, and that rhymes. that's all I got right now. I'll make an update later, but I probably won't trade today. But I think I learned a lot of great lessons, and I'll just have to apply that, even if it's like handicapping myself. I'm here to make money. I'm not here to stroke my ego. Oh, I got the very bottom. I want to trade these profitably. Alright, it is 8:33 p.m. and I just want to call it off. I took a huge L today trading, and I think I learned a lot with stuff like NSAV, DPLS, CGII. I never, maybe the next time I would have, but I never nail the ultimate bottom. I don't get executed. This isn't the first time I didn't get executed on a turnaround like this, so I think what I'm going to do is actually consider, when it's this dramatic, this much of a bounce, I'm going to be in. And I've done this before, but not really having the entire mindset. It's just the fact that I was, I knew I wasn't in at the best position, but now I think I'm in at a good position. If I wait for three really nice green candles, and then I get in the trade, and I go large, I go a larger size. It's very, it might not be hard for like the promoters or whatever to just add one more green candle on the fake out, but just 3 candles, larger size, very quick to get out. I could try doing that. I can try nailing these that way. I can get in a setup like this where it's already uptrending at 72, and I'm saying, oh, well, I didn't get it at 67. I missed this setup. Now I can get in at 72 saying, hey, there's a high chance this thing is actually going to uptrend some more. It's already have 3 green candles. I can go in a larger size and and then sell as soon as there's topping action. Maybe a top is formed and it trades within a range, something like that. That's going to help me a lot. And the other thing I can do is just wait for inverse head and shoulders and trade large with that. This was it here, shoulder, head, shoulder. Here was a shoulder. I can go much larger, risking the shoulder low, which in this case was actually symmetrical on both sides. I can do that too. That could really help me. And a lot of these inverse head and shoulders, like, they work out for a longer period of time. So what I'm going to do is probably not try to nail the very bottom anymore, because I have not shown myself that I can do it. These stocks have a lot of fake outs. This one was a fake out. This was a good attempt. And this was one that didn't get executed. And then I tried here, which was a higher low, or maybe you can call it a cup and handle right here. It didn't work out. That's totally fine. Yeah, third green candle. I'll be considering that for the initial bottom, the actual bottom, which was here, although we did get more downtrending, but this was different. This was now the lower low setup, or the inverse head and shoulders. I think with these two things in mind, I can be a lot more prepared. Sure, it sucks that I'm down like 60 something bucks today, but I think I learned some great lessons, and I didn't do anything stupid like getting in here and then just holding on to the position and taking a huge L, or maybe even selling when it bounces back, but then just feeling disgusted with myself. I didn't do that. I'm almost up $1,000 since I started the beginning of this year, from that day on to today. And that's trading with small position sizes. I can try larger sizes with these types of setups, and I think that could help. NLST, I was never here for that. I was extremely freaking rusty. Instead of risking 15, I risked 16, and that made me sell at the bottom. It did do a nice uptrend. It did get to VWAP, although this thing did not really have that much range, and I was waiting for this thing to get down to the lows right here, and I got in at 24. It did ultimately drop to a lower level, which would have been like 19, so not that much difference, but I think every little bit counts, especially in theory. If I trade larger, a morning panic bounce plays on these types of setups, I won't wait for 3 green candles, because it tends to not really be that necessary, and then sometimes you're in the setup a bit too late. If it's just a casual morning panic balance play like it was here, but like these tsunami type stocks, I will have those rules in mind. I will stop trying to nail the bottom on it. I'll just wait for the third green candle, or the inverse head and shoulders, or maybe even here the lower low, although these can be a fake out setup. In fact, that's when I went larger in one of these right here, where I think it was right here where I was long, and it cracked 60. Despite the losses I had, again, I didn't have a horrible percent loss. I tried really well, and I cut losses quickly. I'm just not getting the bottom. And this, you know, new mindset will not let me get the bottom, but it will make me, in theory, more profitable. So I'm going to try that. If I get a setup, an opportunity like that, I'm just going to have to really judge if it's going to be like a normal morning panic bounce play like here with NLST, or if it's something a bit more massive like NSAV was, you know, today. So that's where I'm at the moment. That's the second time that message came up. KYNC is doing an amazing job trying to get back to its highs. Not RGBP. This was a dip towards VWAP. I did look at it. I don't know what the issue was. I think it's because it dropped too much. I just felt a bit iffy about it. But this setup would have worked here. I was looking at it. Maybe I could push myself to trade it, but I don't mind that too much. CPSL did have like a panic after a spike. I don't really like those as much. It went from 53 to what, 56. Never really touched the VWAP, except if you want to count this. This was kind of ugly. I doubt it was down on the day. Maybe down from the spike, but not like negative 10% on the day. VNTH continued to uptrend. Sucks that I didn't get the top here. That really would have helped with my gains, but that's alright. I was just unlucky today. Maybe that karma can go into something else. That's all I got. A lot of things in mind, and yeah, I'll just keep going at it.